even from the very beginning, there was a redemption story. It's not what I do, it's God's redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you found out, I believe, from Chuck Missler's
Chuck
site,
Missler, yeah.
How the names of the original patriarchs tell the gospel message, and it has nothing to do with my performance.
Nothing whatsoever. Yeah. Let me just run through you guys what was. This is not a new story. I mean, probably lots of you guys have seen this before, but what the message finally comes out to be, and we'll discuss parts of it as we go. But what the real message found in Genesis chapter 5. This is quite a while before God brought his gospel about, but he is bringing his gospel about the way we look at it, the four gospels, but his gospel is already there in this genealogy. What it basically says is this, we'll get into the details, but what it basically says is man appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down teaching that his death shall bring despairing rest. And
the despairing rest,
yeah.
Right.
So as you go through, and let me just read these through, and I find them really super interesting. So we start off with Adam. Adam's name means man. As the first man, that seems straightforward enough. Seth. Adam's son was named Seth, which means appointed. Eve said, God hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain has slain. Enosh, Seth's son, was called Enosh, which means mortal, frail, or miserable. It is from the root amash, to be incurable, used of a wound, grief, or woe, or sickness, or wickedness. It was in the days of Enosh that men began to defile the name of God. The next one is Kenan. Enosh's son was named Kenan, which can mean sorrow, dirge. The precise denomination or denotation, whatever that word is somewhat elusive. But the study of the basic root word in Hebrew comes to that place. Balaam was well, we'll move on to Malahel. Is that how you would pronounce that?
Mahalalel.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Mahalalel.
Yeah, that guy.
There you go.
Canaan's son was Mahalalel, and from Mahalalel means blessed or praise. El, the name for God, plus Mahalalel means blessed God. Often Hebrew names like El name El, the name of God, as Daniel, God is my judge. The next one in line is Jared. Mahalalel's son was named Jared from the verb yada, whatever that means. I'm certainly not Hebrew, meaning shall come down. Jared means shall come down. Enoch was Jared's son, was named Enoch, which means teaching or commencement. He was the first of 4 generations of preachers. In fact, earliest recorded prophecy was by Enoch, which amazingly enough deals with the second coming of Christ, although it's quoted in the book of Jude in the New Testament. If you guys probably know, Enoch was also the first one that got, I think it's clear in the Bible as well, Enoch was the first one to be raptured because he walked the earth and he wasn't. They couldn't find him. But Enoch actually means teaching or commencement. And now we get to the oldest name in the book, the oldest one that was called out, Methuselah, 969 years old. And I think that's grace right there. Because the fact that Methuselah, Enoch's father was the father of Methuselah, who we already mentioned. Enoch walked with God and begot Methuselah. Apparently Enoch received the prophecy of the great flood and was told that as long as his son was alive, that the judgment of the flood would be withheld. Yes. And it's interesting that God withheld the flood as long as anybody could actually be. 969 years was Methuselah, and God waited that long before he made it. Now, he could have took Methuselah out at 150 if he wanted to, but he wanted Methuselah to be around for that long to give grace to the people to watch what was going on.
I've also heard that Methuselah was alive when both Adam and Noah were alive, so he was the link of knowledge about what Adam knew.
About
He
Adam.
knew it and could
Mhm.
convey that information
Right.
to Noah.
Yeah, and he saw that Adam didn't have a belly button. Okay, that was just mine. And then Lamech, Methuselah's son was named Lamech, or the roots evident today in our Old English, lament or lamentation. Lamech suggests despairing or deadly. Finally, Noah. Lamech, of course, is the father of Noah, which is derived from Nachem, to bring relief or comfort. So from those, and from the box that you guys have on your plate, that's where you arrive at this testimony that I spoke about earlier. There it is. Man is appointed mortal sorrow. The blessed God shall come down, teaching that his death shall bring despairing rest. So the first time I heard about this, I was pretty shook off my feet that God could actually have his message from that long ago.